The draft experience is like no other right now. And it kind of brings you back again to when you were drafted and saying, man, I wish it was like this when I got drafted. But, to set this all up, you guys got to realize that this is 1985, a long time ago. So I was at my college, Kutztown University, little small D2 school, Division II school in Pennsylvania. The draft that year was in New York City, in the basement of the Marriott Marquis Hotel. So it was in a basement in 1985. It wasn't in a billion-dollar stadium like it is now. It was just a phone call. It wasn't, it wasn't as hyped up as it is now when guys get drafted. I got a call from the general manager in Buffalo at the time, was Terry Bledsoe. So that was a big difference, and it was very informal. And Paul Tagliabue at the time was the commissioner of the league. And coming from a D2 school, it was just, what an experience for a little kid coming out of a small school in a little hick town. Getting a call from a professional football team that you've been drafted by and they picked you to come and represent their franchise. And that was a big thing for me. What drove me, I just never wanted to settle for being mediocre. And I think in life, you don't want to settle for being mediocre. The mediocre ones are always going to be, they always say and do the same things, and then they end up mediocre. The guys that want to be great and want to be better have different ways of doing things all the time. Coming from a D2 school, and back in the 80s, Division II guys really weren't prevalent on NFL rosters. And Jerry Rice went to a 1AA school. A lot of these guys went to Division II schools, and I just wanted to be different. And I was willing to do anything to be different and to take the next step and the next level. And I, every offseason I took 2 weeks off and I was ready to go again. And I just had that in my mind, but that someday all that work was going to pay off, and it did. And of course, you gotta have the talent, no doubt about that. But a lot of people got talent but don't work at it either. And they get satisfied. They get really satisfied at what they're at. They're like, I'll just stay right here. The advice I would give to a player is this: you work so hard to get to that point, and you think maybe that it's all said and done. Yeah, I got drafted. That was my main goal. But in any sport, as a professional, you want to excel every year. You want to get better. You want to make a name for yourself. You just don't want to say, I got drafted and that's it. And again, all these distractions nowadays with kids, it really weighs on them. And when I got drafted in '85, there wasn't, social media and different ways to get out there and different ways to get in trouble and different ways to be better through social media. So you got to be in your own bubble to a certain point. And we always say to these draft picks that the people around you are either there to help you or they're not. There's really no in between, guys. And you got to take care of your football first, and then all the other stuff kind of falls into place. So I had so many good people around me that wanted me to do well, coaches and former players. And, my family was really important in my success on the football field. The advice they gave me, again, is the same thing: is you're there for a reason, realize you're there for a reason, and be willing to work, be willing to do the extra things to, take that next step. Once everybody gets drafted, you're all on the same floor, but how do you get to the next floor and to the next floor and to the next floor to get to the top? And it's all being humble when you have to be, having humility, being willing to take a constructive criticism, realizing that things aren't always going to go your way, like I said before, and you grow with failures. Successes and failures are all the same to me, but you're going to go through successes, you're going to go through failures, and it's how you deal with them. And I think that's really the best advice, amongst other things you can give them, as far as, working out and all that kind of stuff, the football part of it. But you got to take care of yourself off the field if you want to on the field to excel and go forward. If somebody said to me, you know what, and when you're 15, when I was 15, they said, you know what, you're gonna get drafted in the NFL, you're gonna have a great career. Oh, and by the way, you're going to get the highest honor that a professional football player can get, and that's being inducted to the Pro Football Hall of Fame. And I would have said no to all three, probably. I think, was I destined to become a Pro Football Hall of Famer? No. But I think, my induction to the Hall of Fame is because of other people. Of course, I had to work and do all that kind of stuff, but I had encouragement from other people, fans, friends, former teammates, and they made me better every single Sunday. It's sometimes when I think about it now, it's 7 years. This is the 7th year that I'm been a Hall of Famer now. And the great thing about it is I go to the Merlin Olsen dinner every year at the Super Bowl. And once you become part of that fraternity, it's you can't get cut from it. You can't get traded. And when you die, you still be a Hall of Famer forever. There's a bus that'll last for 60,000 years in Canton that'll be there for 60,000 years. You have an iconic ring and a gold jacket that are the three iconic symbols of what a Hall of Famer is in football. A lot of times I think about it, but when it comes down to like this time of year, because I get to see, all the Hall of Famers at the Super Bowl, it'll be great to see all those guys again because we're family and we're brothers forever. We played on different teams, but we're Hall of Fame brothers. We're brothers. We stood for a lot. We stood for the game, and what the Hall stands for is integrity. It's perseverance. It's honesty. It's all the things that what a Hall of Famer stands for.